So Sean, you're 5 years in charge now of Burnley, 250 games in. How do you feel it's all gone?
Well, from the early days where we first started, then it's gone really well. The first sort of 6-7 months were tough, sort of adding our stamp on it, or putting our stamp on it really, in all the different departments and making it work. Results weren't as good, but I thought the groundwork and the base that we were hoping to put in was there. But you are judged heavily on results, and results weren't great. We ended up actually finishing 11th, but we'd done some really good work, and then that obviously took us forward considerably, and then we can sort of quickly jump through from them times, because once that base was put in place, we got the right players in to go and deliver what we thought they could, then we were off and running. And then obviously we're sitting in this building today that is a big step forward from.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Actually, the facilities look absolutely fantastic. When I drove into the complex, what was it like when you first arrived?
I mean, it had a heart. There was the little building over the other side of the river. Very small facilities on everything really, and we could just really work with the first team group in there, and a few of the younger pros. We weren't really enough room to work with anyone else. We put some porta cabins outside to break the group up, but to keep it at least in contact. Changed the room to be a gym, added another kind of like a prefab to add as an analysis room. That kind of thing. We had a good top pitch, to be fair, which has been here for a long time. I think it was Steve Cottrell put a good surface in up there, so at least we had that, and a warm-up surface over the other side of the river. This side here, you can probably see over there, all the marshland.
Yes.
This was completely that, other than the very end where there was a couple of pitches there, but they were just normal pitches just grown out. They weren't special pitches or anything like that. So considerably different now, I'm pleased to say. But it's, the thing was, there was an earthiness to it. There was a good connection.
Yeah.
We had a small group of players. We had a great season in the first full season when we got promoted, and it was a really tight group. And I think that added to it. Even to the point, to bring you up to speed with it, when we moved into this building, the staff were a bit wary. They're almost going, are we going to lose that connection? Yeah. But I said, no. We haven't watched that go up to not get in it. So I was desperate to get in it, and of course we've settled in nicely.
What are you like as a manager? Are you a shouter? Are you quite mellow at times?
I don't, probably against what you see. I'm not shouting and screaming all the time.
Have you got a number 2 or a number 3 who's good, good cop, bad
Woney
cops?
and Tony, no, not really good cop, bad cops.
No.
I think there's a good balance amongst the staff. I mean, when I went in at Watford, actually, I bought Woney as a friend of mine as well, as a work colleague, and has been for many years. But he's a different character to me. And Tony Loughlin, yet again, a different character to me. And I thought that was important in our staff, and that was for a reason, that I got them guys together. And then we came here, and obviously there was staff here, and we haven't made many changes to the staff. I think they've all worked fantastically well, and so they're different opinions, different feel to it, different mix of it, and added into this, they've all enjoyed coming into this building. And I think as a manager, you're laying down what you believe. So I was hands on to a lot. And then once you think that the team and the players are getting what you're about and what you think that it needs to be, the culture and the way, what you stand for, if you like, then I think you dilute it slightly, as a manager that is, and then it goes into the coaches more. So I'm out there all the time, but I'm not always taking sessions, might be walking around, speaking to the players, sometimes summarise at the end of a session, just to get across a point that we were after.
Yeah.
And then later in the week, when it becomes tactical, not all the time, if we think the team are working well, sometimes it's one thing I've learned about management. Actually, it's sometimes the hardest thing is to do nothing.
Yeah.
Because you're tempted to tinker and do stuff all the time, and sometimes just stand away and just believe and trust in the players. So that's certainly something that I've worked on and learned.
Certainly, everything's going well. And what's your connection with the Burnley fans? What are they like?
There's a healthy respect, and it's been it's been built over time, and I think they kind of got used to the fact. It's hard when because don't forget, I only had 1 year as a manager at Watford, so it wasn't like they were getting in a seasoned manager who they could all relate to. And I think it's good in the way you can open minds. It's a challenge in the way that the trust element. What you say through the media, are they 100% online? Do they trust you? Do they believe in every word you say? Over time, I think they've come to realise I do speak through the media openly and honestly. I don't really spin things because I don't think it's appropriate to. Only my style. I'm not judging others, but I just tell them how I see it. And I think there's been a connection. I mean, let's not kid each other. Success helps massively, of course. But I think underlying with that, I hope they like the fact I tell them the truth. Yeah. And there is a good connection, I think. I think also something I believe in, but I think it's appropriate. When I first came in, the only thing I guaranteed through the media, you know, when you speak through the media, was sweat on the shirt. I said, look, I can't guarantee we'll be brilliant. I can't guarantee we'll be amazing. I can't guarantee we'll win every week. But the one thing I insist upon, we'll have a team that give everything. And I think there's been a real good marker for the team.
Definitely.
I think the fans have connected to that. So the only reason that came around, one, I was an average player and I thought I had to give everything. And two, I always thought if I was a fan, I thought at least I want to see my team give everything.
Die for the cause,
and if we can do it in style, fantastic. But even if we can't, and it's a tough day, at least be given everything to try and get a result. And I think mostly the very odd blip over the 5.5 years I've been here, then the team.
Well, I think your stats have always shown that. The fact that your work rate within the team has always shown that, hasn't it? That's a standout point, I think, for the Burnley team. But what's been your proudest moment as being Burnley manager? Is it finishing high in the league, or is it something small, as in being involved in developing the training ground?
It's a good shout, because obviously it's hard not to be proud of the bigger picture of the club. But that's not just me. I had to give some ideas on it. The board have been fantastic with that. My staff have been fantastic with that, and the buy-in from the fans. Don't forget, you know, I've got to give them credit, because the season when we went up and then came down, it was really in lieu of all this. This was needed for the bigger picture of the club. Now, I kind of jumped on the grenade in the sense, put myself at risk, because obviously we know that, you know, if you go down, the chances are you're gone. And often even before you go down, you know, Christmas time, you're gone. But I believed in the board, and I think they believed in me, and therefore the fans sort of stayed, you know, stuck in with that, and they didn't waver. They kind of believed in that. And I think that's been a proud thing as a collective. For me individually, as manager, I just think it's so many individuals have progressed within us and then gone off and moved for big fees but done so much for us as well. You know, as an individual within a team, have done so many good things for us. And then to see them go on and go on to different concerns and still do well, I mean, that's really pleasing as a manager, because of course you've got to win, but I always think there's an underlying thing. You know, part of my reasons for coaching and managing was to try and help them be way better than I was, and to try and rub off on them. No, I mean it sincerely though. You know, the things that I've learned down the years, can I affect them to have a way better chance of being the best player they can be than I did? And I think that's an important thing. And then obviously the most key moment as regards to football, I think has got to be our first promotion, because it was so unexpected. Even it was unexpected to us, by the way. You know, the team got on a roll, some amazing performers that season, very small group of players, very tight-knit group, fantastic connection. And it was just like a wave of emotion and high quality all wrapped into one. I mean, an amazing season, and defining moment was when we beat Wigan at home 2-0, and the scenes from that, the feeling, I can almost feel it now, you know. So as my personal moment, then it's the Wigan win at home.
How do you relax? What do you do? Do you play golf? Do you watch horse racing?
No, not really.
Do you study football in the house?
I do a bit, not as much as I'm not an obsessive. I'm obsessive about what we do, but I'm not an obsessive about everyone else. I try and watch casually. I mean, there's obviously key games that I watch, as regarding who we're playing and stuff like that. But as a broader view, my lad plays, I like watching him. My daughter's 12, but really about 24, so that's interesting. Like they are. So that's always interesting. I like family time, big family man. Mixed in with football, you know, watching it in the sofa with my son and stuff like that. General life, really, because, you know, to switch off from here, I find it good to be around my family. So the usual stuff, going to cinema, going out to something to eat. And the only other prop hobby is golf. I mean, I don't get as much time as I'd like to play, but I do love the game, and I love playing it. But I don't love competing at it, ironically. I like just playing it. So whenever I play, if it's charity golf, trust me, I'm not the one screaming at someone if the ball moves like 1 millimetre, you know, when the putter goes close. I just go, that's all right, we'll just play on.
Just have it.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's your handicap then?
Well, during the golf,
because if it's about summer, 5,
no,
I was going to say, you have to be a fair weather golfer if you let people away with things like that.
I am a fair weather golfer.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't. I'm not.
No, I like summer golf. I like charity golf. I range from about 12 to 15.
Oh, that's
really.
all right.
I can hit it. Yeah, I can hit it. But you know, when I, the good thing about getting the sack from Watford, I was down to about 8. So that was the only cloud on a silver lining. You know, exactly. And everyone wants single figure golf.
And now you're back up to 12, eh?
I never get a chance. No, probably realistically, I can't get the win.
In this weather as well. This weather.
That's not for me. That's not for me. So I mean, Woney's a really good golfer, but we play summer golf. So every year you go back up, then you have to work to come back down, then you go back up again. You know the script.